My 6-year-old son Jason tugged at the hem of my shirt, his eyes brimming with hurt. I, Emma Shen, set down the needlework in my hands and looked at my 3 kids gathered around me. The anger boiling inside me could no longer be contained. 8 years of marriage, and that dog of a man, John Walker, spends 300 days a year away from home. Of the 65 days he is actually here, half are spent sleeping. Today was the day he promised to take the kids to a movie, yet it's 9 at night and there's still no sign of him. "Mom, don't cry," my 4-year-old Tyler said, standing on tiptoe and using his little hand to wipe away tears that weren't even there. My youngest Lily, only 2, piped up in her baby voice, "Daddy's bad." I took a deep breath, crouched down, and pulled all 3 into my arms. "Sweethearts," I asked, "if Mommy and Daddy can't live together anymore, would you want to stay with me?" "Yes," all 3 answered in unison. "Good. Tomorrow, Mommy's taking you somewhere, to find your dad and settle accounts." I stood, went to the nightstand, and took a metal box from the bottom drawer. I opened it to a neat stack of cash, several IOUs, and our household registration booklet. All these years, John has thought I'm just a foolish woman who only knows how to raise children and do housework. He has no idea how much I've been preparing in secret. The money I earned doing needlework for military families, he never asked about. The fees I received for writing letters and applications for people, he knew nothing about. And most important of all, the dowry money from my family is still hidden in this box. Back then I married John because of that military uniform and his sweet talk. Who knew that after the wedding I'd discover he was nothing more than a shameless womanizer? 2 years ago, I found out he had another woman, a nurse named Mary Lewis. She's young and pretty, unmarried and childless, and the key point is that her father is the deputy director of the military hospital. I swallowed my anger back then because I wanted the kids to have a complete home. But tonight, when I saw the disappointment in Jason's eyes, I suddenly understood a truth. A father who never comes home is worse than no father at all. "Jason, help Mommy pack clothes for your brother and sister. We're going far tomorrow." "Mom, where are we going?" "To the military compound, to find your dad's superior." As I spoke, I pulled from the wardrobe a deep blue Dacron shirt and black slacks I had prepared long ago, the best outfit I bought when I got married. I'd never worn it, but tomorrow I'm putting it on to meet those high-ranking officers. "Mom, are we gonna tattle?" Tyler asked, blinking his big eyes. "We're not tattling," I said. "We're gonna get back what we're entitled to." I changed Lily into her pajamas, my plan already crystal clear. John is a company commander now, and by regulation, officers' spouses and children are entitled to certain benefits. Yet all these years, aside from that small monthly living allowance, we've received nothing. I've heard that officer families can get free medical care at the military hospital, that the children can attend the military dependent school, and that jobs can even be assigned. I haven't enjoyed any of it. Why? Because John is afraid that if I go to the compound, I'll uncover his dirty secrets. Tomorrow I'm going to walk openly into that compound with my 3 children. I'll let everyone know that John Walker has a wife and kids. I'll make Mary Lewis see that destroying another woman's family comes at a price. More importantly, I will fight for the rights my children and I deserve. "Mom, will Dad be mad?" Jason asked, a little worried. "If he's mad, he's mad. I'm not afraid of him." I stroked my son's hair and said firmly, "Jason, remember this. No one in this world gets to bully us, not even your father." It was late by the time I lulled the 3 children to sleep. Sitting alone under the dim light of the kerosene lamp, I carefully checked everything we would need tomorrow. The household registration booklet, the marriage certificate, and the children's birth certificates. I also had the evidence I'd been secretly collecting over the years. The photos of John Walker and Mary Lewis on their dates. I'd paid young Zach from next door to take them for me. The receipts for the gifts John bought her. I'd found them in the pockets of her clothes. I even had several love letters they'd exchanged. These things were more than enough to ruin John's reputation in the military compound. Thinking of this, the corner of my mouth curled into a cold smile. John Walker, you thought marrying a country girl like me meant you could push me around as you pleased. You were wrong. I, Emma Shen, may have been born in the countryside, but I am no pushover. Tomorrow, you'll see just how strong your wife can be. The next morning, I took my 3 children straight to the gates of the military compound. The sentry on duty spotted us immediately and came over. "Comrade, who are you here to see?" he asked. "I'm looking for Company Commander John Walker," I replied, standing tall and speaking clearly. "And you are?" "I'm his wife, Emma Shen, and these are our 3 children." The sentry froze for a moment, his eyes quickly scanning us up and down. I knew exactly what he was thinking. The military wives in the compound were usually dressed to impress, while someone like me, plainly dressed with 3 kids in tow, was a rare sight. "Please wait a moment. I'll contact the company commander for you." He went into the guardhouse, picked up the phone, and called an extension. I couldn't hear what he was saying, but from his expression, it was clear that whoever was on the other end was surprised. A few minutes later, the sentry returned. "Company Commander Walker is in a meeting right now and won't be out for a while. Would you like to wait here or go sit in the family housing area first?" "Family housing?" I asked loudly on purpose. "We've been here for 8 years. How come no one ever told me there's a family housing area?" The sentry looked embarrassed. "I don't really know the specifics. Maybe you should wait until the company commander comes out." "I'm not waiting. I'll go directly to your political officer." Holding Lily's hand in one and Tyler's in the other, with Jason following behind, I strode toward the gate. "Comrade, you can't just enter the military compound." The sentry hurriedly blocked our way. "Why not? I'm a military spouse. Here, these are my documents." I pulled out our marriage certificate and household registration booklet and slapped them down in front of him. "Look closely, I'm John Walker's lawful wife. These 3 children are his flesh and blood. According to regulations, we have the right to enter the compound." The sentry took the documents, checked them carefully, and his face grew darker by the second. Just then, a familiar figure came running toward us from a distance. John was in uniform, sweat streaming down his face. "Emma, what are you doing here? And why did you bring the kids?" His voice was tinged with obvious tension and unease. "What? Am I not allowed to come?" I let out a cold laugh. "Company Commander Walker, I came to ask why, after 8 years of marriage, I've never once received any of the benefits for military families." "Let's talk about this at home," John said quickly. "Let's go home." He reached out to grab my hand, but I jerked it away. "No, we'll talk about it right here." Raising my voice, I said, "John Walker, tell me, military spouses can get free medical care at the military hospital, right?" Yes, he admitted. "Then why, when Lily was sick, did I have to take her to the township clinic? Why, when Tyler had a fever, did I have to borrow money to buy medicine?" John's face was growing darker. "Emma, stop making a scene here. I'll explain at home." "And another thing," I went on. "Children of officers are allowed to attend the military dependence school, aren't they? Then why is Jason still going to the village elementary school?" By now, more and more people had gathered around, military staff and family members passing by. I could hear them whispering. "That's Company Commander Walker's wife? How come we've never seen her before?" "Isn't the company commander with Nurse Lewis from the hospital? So he's been married all along and has 3 kids." Hearing these words, John's face flushed even redder, and the sweat on his forehead poured faster. "Emma, stop. Let's talk about this at home." "Go home?" I shot back. I picked Lily up in my arms and said loudly, "John Walker, since you refuse to give us the benefits we deserve, then we'll get a divorce. I'll take the children to see the political officer, to speak with your superior and ask them how they manage their subordinates." "Mom, what's a divorce?" Tyler asked in his small, milky voice. "Divorce means Mommy and Daddy won't live together anymore," I explained, "but Daddy will still be your dad." "Then, can we still see him?" Jason's eyes welled with tears. Seeing my son's hurt expression made my chest ache, but I still answered firmly, "Of course you can. But after that, Daddy will have to give us living expenses and visit you regularly." John completely panicked. "Emma, stop this nonsense. Divorce? Why would you ruin a perfectly good life?" "A perfectly good life." I gave a cold laugh. "You're gone almost the whole year. The kids are about to forget what you even look like, and you call that a good life?" Just then, a young woman in a white lab coat came hurrying over. Mary Lewis. The moment she saw our whole family standing there, her face turned pale. John, she said softly, almost whispering. John? I repeated, deliberately mimicking her tone, then turned my voice sharp. John Walker, and this is... John's face went even uglier than hers. She's a nurse at the hospital. A nurse? I smiled coldly and pulled a few photographs from my bag. Then tell me, company commander, when you were holding hands with this nurse and strolling through the park, were you giving her a medical exam? The photos were black and white, but clear enough, intimate shots of John and Mary together. The moment the crowd saw the pictures, a wave of gasps broke out. John's face turned ashen, like a thief caught red-handed. Emma, let me explain. I raised the photos high for everyone to see and said loudly, Everyone, take a look. This is our company commander Walker. Married 8 years, father of 3, and he's having an affair with a hospital nurse. Mary could no longer stand her ground. She turned to run, but I barked, Stop! My voice rang out sharply. Nurse Lewis, if you dared to do it, you'd better dare to face it. I strode over, grabbed her arm, and glared straight at her. You're an unmarried woman seducing a married man, destroying a military family. Do you have any shame at all? I didn't, Mary stammered. Didn't? I pulled out several receipts. Then how do you explain these receipts for cosmetics and clothes he bought you? John Walker's name is printed clearly on them. The crowd was swelling, the whispers growing sharper. My God, I can't believe Company Commander Walker is that kind of man. And that nurse, shameless. She knew he had a wife and kids and still got involved. Poor Mrs. Walker, raising 3 kids alone while her husband's out messing around. Hearing their voices, I felt strangely calm. The grievances and fury I had bottled up for years were finally spilling out today. I turned to John, my voice like ice. Now, do you still want to deny it? John opened his mouth, but nothing came out. Just then, a middle-aged man wearing glasses stepped out from the crowd. What's going on here? Why is there such a crowd? Someone whispered. That's Zhang Zhengwei. I instantly understood. He was a high-ranking leader. Comrade political officer, I said, stepping forward with Lily in my arms. I'm Emma Shen, John Walker's wife. I want to formally report him for misconduct. Political officer Zhang frowned as he looked over the scene, then said sternly, John Walker, come with me. Comrade Shen, you come too. What about the children? I felt a pang of worry, but before I could say anything, Zhang Zhengwei turned to the onlookers. All right, everyone, disperse. Go back to what you were doing. Soon, a few staff members came over and led my 3 children away, saying they would take them to the military kindergarten to play for a while. I followed Zhang Zhengwei and John Walker into an office. Inside, along with political officer Zhang, there were 2 other leaders in uniform. Have a seat, Zhang said, pointing to the chairs. Comrade Shen, tell us the details. I took a deep breath and began to recount everything I had endured over the years. How John had rarely been home since we married, how I discovered his relationship with Mary Lewis, and how my children and I had never received the benefits we were entitled to as a military family. I spoke clearly and in detail, calm and composed without crying or pleading, just stating the facts. These are all the evidence. I laid the photos, the receipts, and even a few of their love letters on the table. Zhang and the other 2 leaders examined each item carefully, their expressions growing more and more serious. John Walker, do you have anything to say for yourself? Zhang asked. John kept his head down for a long moment before finally muttering, I'm sorry, Emma. I'm sorry to the kids. If sorry were enough, Zhang said sharply, what would we need discipline for? You're a Communist Party member, a soldier of the people, and you do something like this? It's a disgrace. Political officer, I know I was wrong. I really do, John said quickly. I gave a cold laugh. How many times have you said that before, John? Every time I caught you, you claimed you knew you were wrong. And then the next day, you carried on like nothing happened. Emma, this time I really mean it. I'll never. Don't never me. I cut him off. John Walker, let's get a divorce. The word divorce brought complete silence to the office. Zhang glanced at me, then at John. Comrade Shen, are you sure you want a divorce? I'm sure, I nodded. Political officer, I'd like to ask, after a divorce, what are the regulations for the support of the wife and children when the officer is at fault? Zhang hesitated for a moment, then said, according to regulations, if the divorce is due to the man's misconduct, the wife and children are entitled to financial compensation and living support. That's good, I smiled slightly. I request that John Walker pay child support every month, the amount based on his salary. In addition, he must cover all educational and medical expenses for the children. Emma, you? John started, but I stopped him with a look. John Walker, don't think I don't understand the law. I reached into my bag and pulled out a book. This is the marriage law of the People's Republic of China. I've studied it carefully. Everyone in the room was momentarily stunned, surprised that a woman from the countryside knew the law. Comrade Shen, where did you learn this? Zhang asked curiously. At the county night school, I replied calmly. I go to class every week. I may be from the countryside, but I refuse to spend my whole life as an ignorant woman. John nodded, a glimmer of respect in his eyes. Good, very good. Do you have any other requests regarding this matter? I do, I said after a moment's thought. I hope the organization will issue John Walker a formal disciplinary action so he understands the seriousness of his misconduct. And Nurse Mary Lewis, as the third party who destroyed a military family, should also face appropriate consequences. Zhang exchanged a glance with the other two leaders, then said, Comrade Shen, your requests are reasonable. However, before we make a formal decision, we will need to investigate and verify everything. Of course, I'll fully cooperate with the investigation, I nodded. But there's one thing I need to make clear. I need a place for my children and me to live. All these years we've been in the old house in the village under terrible conditions. Since we're divorcing, I want to secure a better living environment for the children. Political Officer Zhang looked slightly troubled. Housing in the military compound is regulated. It's generally only allocated to active duty officers. What if I work in the military compound? I suddenly asked. What do you mean? I reached into my bag and took out another item, a certificate. This is my high school diploma. It's from a correspondence course, but it's nationally recognized, and this is my abacus certification. My arithmetic skills are strong enough for accounting or statistical work. Everyone in the room was stunned. A woman who looked like an ordinary rural housewife not only had a high school education, but was also trained in abacus calculation. Comrade Shen, when did you earn these certificates? Zhang asked curiously. Over the years since I got married, I said calmly. I studied on my own while raising the children. During the day, I took care of them and handled the housework. At night, after they went to sleep, I'd study by kerosene lamp. Night school at the county, correspondence courses, if there was an opportunity, I took it. Why work so hard to study? Because I refuse to spend my life depending on a man, I answered, glancing at John. As it turns out, men can't be relied on. The only one you can depend on is yourself. John's face darkened even further at my words. Zhang was silent for a moment, then said, Comrade Shen, we do need clerical staff in the compound. If you're willing, I can arrange a position for you. The pay isn't high, and there's a 3-month probation period. That's wonderful. My eyes lit up with excitement. Thank you, political officer, for giving me this opportunity. There's one condition, Zhang said sternly. You must completely cut ties with John Walker. Personal relationships must not interfere with your work. You can be assured of that. I've had no feelings for him for a long time. I shot John a cold look. If it weren't for the children, I would have left him long ago. Just then, there was a knock on the door. Come in, Zhang called. The door opened and the same staff member from earlier stepped inside, followed by my 3 children. Mom, the moment they saw me, they rushed into my arms. Hello, Uncle Political Officer, Jason said politely, giving Zhang a crisp salute. Zhang chuckled. Good boy, you're very well-mannered. Mom, the military kindergarten is so much fun, Tyler said excitedly. It has slides, swings, and lots of other kids. Really? Then would you like to go to school there? Yes, all 3 children answered in unison. Zhang looked at them, then back at me, and nodded. Comrade Shen, since you'll be working in the military compound, of course your children can attend the kindergarten and the dependents' school here. That's their rightful benefit. Thank you so much, I said sincerely. Daddy, why do you look unhappy? Lily had noticed John's dark expression. He forced a smile. Daddy's just a little tired. Daddy, will we not live together anymore? Jason asked softly, his voice cautious. I crouched down, gently cupping his face. Jason, Mommy and Daddy won't live together anymore, but you'll still be Daddy's children and he will still love you. Then who will we live with? With Mommy, I said, in a beautiful place with lots of other kids to play with. That's great, Tyler beamed. Mom, is that place right next to the military kindergarten? Yes, I smiled and nodded. At that moment, John suddenly stood up. No, I don't agree to the divorce. Everyone turned to look at him. John Walker, you still have the nerve to say you don't agree? I scoffed. Do you think I'm asking for your permission? Emma, after all, we've been husband and wife for years. Can't you give me one more chance? John pleaded. Chance? I repeated the word slowly. John Walker, how many chances have I already given you? Every time you promised you'd change, and every time, within a few days, you forgot all about it. This time is different. I swear. Enough. I cut him off sharply. John Walker, nothing you say now matters. My mind is made up. Even if you don't agree, I will take this to court and file for divorce. Zhang Zhengwei let out a sigh at the scene before him. John Walker, things have reached this point. Stop clinging on. Comrade Shen's decision is the right one. You truly don't deserve a wife and children like this. What do you mean by that, political officer? John asked, his tone bristling. What do I mean? Zhang's voice turned stern. Look at Comrade Shen. She's raised 3 children on her own, studied independently, earned a high school diploma, mastered the abacus. That's an extraordinary accomplishment. And you? You're an officer, yet you've failed to value your own family and gone off to mess around outside. You've brought shame to the uniform. Hearing that, John was left speechless. 3 days later, the divorce procedures were completed. I stood outside the Civil Affairs Bureau, divorce certificate in hand, feeling a mix of emotions. 8 years of marriage, gone just like that. Mom, are we free now? Jason asked, clutching my hand. Yes, we're free, I said with a smile. The divorce went more smoothly than I had expected. In the end, John signed the papers without further argument. Maybe Zhang's words had woken him up, or maybe he realized that clinging on would only make him look worse. According to the divorce agreement, John would pay 60 yuan a month in child support for the 3 children, a considerable amount in 1975. He would also cover half of their education and medical expenses. Most importantly, I had secured a job in the military compound with a monthly salary of 35 yuan. It wasn't much, but it was enough for the children and me to live on. Comrade Shen, congratulations on gaining your freedom. I turned and saw Zhang Zhengwei. Thank you for your help, political officer. I said sincerely. No need to thank me. You fought for this yourself. Zhang smiled. Honestly, you're the first woman I've met with such courage and capability. You flatter me, political officer. I just don't want my children to suffer with me, I replied. Oh, that reminds me, Zhang said. Your job has been arranged. You can report to the finance department tomorrow, and the housing for you and the children is ready. It's a 2-bedroom apartment with a living room. Not big, but enough for you to live comfortably. Thank you so much. My eyes grew hot with emotion. A job, a home, and the children able to attend the compound school. This was even better than I had imagined. Don't cry, Mom. We'll protect you, Tyler said in his little boy voice, trying to comfort me. Mommy's not crying. Mommy's happy. I lifted my youngest daughter into my arms. Lily, we have a new home now. Do you think that's good? Is it better than our home now? She asked curiously. 100 times better, I said with a smile. That afternoon, we moved into the military compound's family housing. The apartment wasn't big, but it was clean, with its own kitchen and bathroom, and even a small balcony. Best of all, from the window, I could see the playground of the compound's school. Mom, can I go to my new school tomorrow? Jason asked excitedly. Yes, I said. Tomorrow I go to work, and you go to school. Tyler and Lily would be going to the kindergarten. That was wonderful news, and the 3 children ran happily around the room. Watching them so full of joy, my heart was a mixture of emotions. If I had made this decision a few years earlier, maybe we could have been living like this long ago. Unfortunately, back then, I still clung to the hope that John Walker would change. Looking back now, I realize how naive I was. That night, after settling the children into bed, I sat alone on the small balcony, gazing at the star-filled sky. Tomorrow would be the start of a new life. Raising 3 children on my own while working would be no small challenge, but I wasn't afraid. Over the years, there was no hardship I hadn't faced, no difficulty I hadn't met. As long as my children could grow up healthy and happy, I was willing to endure anything. Just then, a knock came from downstairs. I went to open the door and found a middle-aged woman I didn't recognize. "You must be Emma Shen?" she asked. "I'm your upstairs neighbor. My last name's Chen." "Hello, Sister Chen. Is there something you need?" "Well," she said, "I heard you'll be starting work in the finance department tomorrow." "Yes. That's great. My husband works in the logistics department, and I know a bit about finance myself. If you run into anything you don't understand, you can always come to me." Her words warmed me. "Thank you so much." "No need to thank me. We're all military families. We should help each other. By the way, how are you arranging care for your children?" "The oldest will go to the dependents' school, and the younger two will be in the kindergarten." "That works out perfectly. My daughter also goes to the dependents' school. Tomorrow I'll have her take your son along." "That would be wonderful. Thank you so much." "Don't mention it," she smiled. "But I heard you moved here because of a divorce?" I nodded. "Yes. I know John Walker," she said, lowering her voice. "Honestly, his reputation here in the compound isn't very good. Leaving him was the smartest thing you could have done." "You knew about his situation?" "I knew a bit. That nurse, Mary Lewis, her affair with a married officer has been the talk of the hospital for ages. Plenty of people knew she was involved with a married man. They just didn't know who it was. Now they do." I gave a bitter smile. "Yes, now the entire compound knows." Sister Chen shook her head. "But don't worry, the organization will handle this." "I'm not worried about that. I just hope he pays child support on time." "Don't you worry, the military is strict about this kind of thing. If he dares not pay, they'll just deduct it from his salary." Hearing this reassured me even more. "Sister Chen, I won't keep you from resting. All right, if you need anything, just come find me anytime." The next morning I left with my 3 children. The air in the military compound was especially fresh, and all around were soldiers and their families doing morning exercises. "Mom, look at all the uncles in uniforms," Tyler said excitedly, pointing at the soldiers running in the distance. "Yes, this is the military compound. Of course there are lots of soldiers." We went first to the dependent school to enroll Jason. The principal was a kindly older man who, upon hearing about our situation, welcomed us warmly. "Comrade Shen, rest assured, we'll take good care of your child." "Thank you, Principal. If there's anything you need from me, please say so." "He's a bright boy," the principal said, "just a little behind in his studies. But don't worry, we'll arrange for a teacher to give him extra lessons." Once Jason was settled, I took Tyler and Lily to the kindergarten. The facilities were even better than I'd imagined. There was a spacious activity room and even a dedicated nap room. "Mom, I like it here," Lily said happily. "Then you must listen to your teachers, all right?" "Yes," the 2 little ones chorused together. With the children settled, I hurried off to the finance department to report for duty. The finance department was on the 2nd floor of the military compound's administrative building, in a modest-sized office. The section chief was a middle-aged man with glasses, surnamed Liu. "Comrade Shen, welcome to our finance department," he said politely. "Thank you, Chief Liu." "Please guide me well," I replied. "No need to be so formal. We've been short on staff for a while, so your arrival is just in time." Chief Liu introduced me to the other members of the finance department, just 4 people in total, including myself. "Comrade Shen, have you worked in accounting before?" "No, but I have an abacus certification and I've studied some basic finance." "That's great. We'll start you on some simple tasks so you can learn gradually." My first assignment was to organize the accounts and check the figures. The work wasn't complicated, but it required absolute precision. Not a single digit could be wrong. I focused intently, quickly finding my rhythm. "Comrade Shen, your abacus work is really fast," said Xiao Wang, the colleague sitting beside me. "Thank you. I've practiced a long time," I replied. "I can tell. No one in our department can use it as quickly as you." At lunchtime, I went to check on the children at the school and kindergarten. All 3 had adapted well, especially Jason, who was already playing with his classmates. "Mom, the teachers at the new school are great," he said excitedly. "Really? Then you have to study hard, all right?" "I will. I'm going to be number 1 in the class." In the afternoon, I continued working and found that although finance work was tedious, it was very systematic. As long as I was careful and thorough, I wouldn't make mistakes. Near the end of the workday, Chief Liu came by to check my work. "Comrade Shen, you did very well. All the figures are correct." "Thank you for the praise, Chief. Tomorrow I'll teach you some new tasks." "All right, I'll study carefully." After work, I went to pick up the children. Seeing the three of them running toward me with bright smiles filled my heart with happiness. "Mom, today I learned to write my own name," Tyler said excitedly. "Really? Show me." He pulled out a piece of paper and, in crooked handwriting, wrote Wang Xiaoyang. "That's wonderful," I said, genuinely impressed. "Mom, what are we having for dinner?" Lily asked, hugging my leg. "Today we'll go buy some groceries and Mommy will make braised pork for you." "Yay!" all three cheered. On the way home, we passed the military compound's vegetable market. The variety here was far better than in the village market, and the prices weren't bad either. "Comrade Shen," I turned and saw Sister Chen. "Sister Chen, you're buying vegetables too?" "Yes. So how was your first day at work?" "Great. My colleagues have been very kind to me." "That's good. By the way, are you free tonight? I'd like to invite you and the kids to my home for dinner." "Oh, I couldn't impose." "Don't be polite. My daughter wants to play with Jason." In the end, I accepted her invitation. That evening, we went to Sister Chen's home. Her apartment was larger than mine and more nicely furnished. Her husband, Old Chen, was talkative, and their daughter, Xiaomin, was about Jason's age, so the two quickly began playing together. "Comrade Shen, I heard you have quite an education," Old Chen said curiously. "I graduated from high school through correspondence." "That's impressive. Not many women have a high school education these days." "I mainly wanted to set a good example for my children." "That's the right attitude," Sister Chen agreed. "A woman shouldn't depend only on a man. She needs her own abilities." During dinner, Old Chen brought up the outcome of John Walker's case. The organization has already made a decision. They gave him a serious warning as disciplinary action, and he's being transferred from his current post. "Transferred where?" I asked. "To a border defense unit. Conditions there are much harsher." Hearing the news, my feelings were mixed. I'd be lying if I said I wasn't sad. After all, this was someone I had lived with for 8 years. But more than anything, I felt a wave of relief. This meant that the children and I were finally free from his constant entanglement. Time passed quickly. Before I knew it, I had been working in the military compound for 3 months, and in that time, my life had changed completely. At work, I was now able to handle most of the accounting tasks independently, and Chief Liu was very pleased with my performance. "Comrade Shen, your ability to learn is truly impressive. Many of the new college graduates don't learn as fast as you do," he said. "Thank you for the compliment, Chief. I'll keep working hard." The children had also adapted wonderfully to their new environment. Jason's grades had improved dramatically, from being near the bottom of his class to breaking into the top 10. "Mom, my teacher said if I keep working hard, I can make it into the top 5 next time," Jason told me excitedly. "Really? That's wonderful." Tyler and Lily were thriving in kindergarten as well. Their teachers often praised them for being smart and well-behaved. What made me happiest was seeing more and more smiles on their faces. Back in the village, they had always been reserved, rarely speaking or laughing loudly. Now they were lively, cheerful, and full of confidence. One day after work, just as I was about to pick up the children, Chief Liu stopped me. "Comrade Shen, I have some good news for you." "What good news?" "The higher-ups have decided that your probation period performance is excellent, so you're being made permanent ahead of schedule, and your salary will be increased from 35 yuan to 45 yuan. I nearly jumped for joy. "Really? Thank you so much. You've earned it. Everyone can see how capable you are." A salary of 45 yuan in 1975 was already very good income. Adding John Walker's monthly child support, our family of 4 could now live quite comfortably. "Mom, why are you so happy today?" Jason, always quick to notice, asked. "Because Mommy got a raise." "What's a raise?" Tyler asked curiously. "It means Mommy's pay has gone up, so we can buy more tasty food and fun things." "That's great," the 3 children cheered together. That evening, we celebrated my raise with dinner at the compound's small cafeteria. On the way home, we ran into Sister Chen and her family. "Comrade Shen, I heard you got a raise. Congratulations," she said. "Thank you, Sister Chen, and thank you both for taking such good care of us these past few months." "No need for thanks. That's what neighbors do," she replied. Old Chen suddenly spoke up. "Comrade Shen, I heard the compound is going to build a new family housing building. 3 bedrooms and a living room. Are you interested in applying?" 3 bedrooms? My eyes lit up. What are the requirements? It's mainly for outstanding employees and military families. From what I know, you fully meet the qualifications. I quickly calculated in my mind. Our current 2-bedroom apartment was enough for now, but once the children grew up, it wouldn't be. Moving into a 3-bedroom would be ideal. "Old Chen, could you please find out what paperwork is needed?" "All right, I'll ask tomorrow." When we got home, my mood was especially good. My job was stable, my income had increased, the children were healthy and happy. Our new life was getting better and better. Just then, there was a knock at the door. I opened it, and to my surprise, there stood John Walker. He was dressed in civilian clothes, looking haggard and much thinner than he had been a few months ago. "What are you doing here?" I asked coldly. "Emma, I just wanted to see the children," John said. "Aren't you supposed to be at the Border Defense Unit? Why are you back?" "I took leave," he replied. "Emma, I really know I was wrong. Can't you give me another chance?" "Daddy." The 3 children, hearing his voice, came running out. Their expressions were complicated, a mix of longing and unfamiliarity. "Jason, Tyler, Lily, Daddy missed you," John said, crouching down and reaching out to hug them. But none of the children ran into his arms. Instead, they looked to me. "Dad, why haven't you come to see us for so long?" Jason asked. Daddy's been busy with work," John said awkwardly. "But Mom's busy with work too, and she still spends time with us every day," Tyler said innocently. At that, John's face darkened even more. "John Walker, the children have adapted to their life now. Don't come here and disrupt it," I said firmly. "Emma, I'm their father. I have the right to see them." "You absolutely have the right to see them," I replied, "but you don't have the right to interfere with our lives. If you really love them, you should pay their support on time, visit regularly, and not suddenly show up here spouting nonsense." "I'm not spouting nonsense. I truly want to fix this family." "Fix?" I let out a cold laugh. "John Walker, it's far too late for that. We're divorced. I have a new life now. Stop clinging on." "Mom, is Daddy going to take us away?" Lily asked nervously. "No, sweetheart. Daddy's just here to see you," I reassured her. John looked at the children, pain flickering in his eyes. "Emma, you really won't give me even one chance?" "There are some mistakes, John, that can't be forgiven," I said calmly. "You betrayed our marriage and hurt the children's feelings. Those things can't be undone. But I've really changed. That's enough." I raised my voice. "John Walker, please leave. Don't say these things in front of the children." He stood there for a long moment, unmoving, before giving the children one last long look and turning to go. I watched his back as he left, my emotions a tangled mix, but I knew I had made the right choice. Some paths, once taken the wrong way, can never be retraced. In the days after John's visit, the children were quieter than usual. "Mom, does Daddy not want us anymore?" Tyler suddenly asked me one night. "No, sweetheart. Daddy still loves you. He just can't live with Mommy anymore." "Why can't you live together?" Lily asked with wide-eyed innocence. That question left me at a loss. How could I explain the complexities of the adult world to children so young? "Because Daddy made mistakes, and Mommy can't forgive him," I said, keeping my words as simple as I could. "What mistakes?" Jason pressed. "You'll understand when you're older." A few days later, Sister Chen brought me good news. "Comrade Shen, about the housing. You're in luck. The compound has decided to give you priority for a 3-bedroom apartment." "Really? That's wonderful. But you'll need to pay something, about 300 yuan. 300 yuan wasn't a small amount, but it wasn't beyond me either. Over the past few months, I had been frugal and saved quite a bit. "When can we move in?" "Next month. The apartment's being renovated right now." I was so happy I could hardly contain myself. A 3-bedroom place meant each child could have their own room, and I wouldn't have to share a bed with Lily anymore. After work that day, I took the children to see the new apartment. It was in the best building in the entire compound. The south-facing windows let in plenty of light. Mom, is this really our new home? Jason asked excitedly as he ran around the empty rooms. Yes, we'll be moving in next month. That's great, I'll finally have my own room. Tyler jumped up and down with joy. Watching the children's happiness filled my heart with warmth. Just a year ago, I had been a rural woman, enduring humiliation in the village. Now, a year later, I had a stable job, a decent income, and was about to have a proper home. All of these changes had come from that decision I made to divorce. The process had been painful, but the result was worth it. While we were still exploring the new apartment, a commotion rose from downstairs. I looked out the window and saw John Walker arguing with another man. I recognized the man. It was Officer Zhao from the compound. John Walker, stop making trouble. You must comply with the organization's decision, Officer Zhao said sternly. Why can't I see my kids? I'm their biological father. John shouted, visibly agitated. Of course you can see them, Officer Zhao replied, but you must make an appointment in advance according to regulations. You cannot just disrupt Comrade Shen's life whenever you want. She's my ex-wife, I have the right. What right? Officer Zhao cut him off. You are divorced, Comrade Shen is an independent individual now. You have no right to interfere in her life. Hearing those words, a wave of gratitude welled up in me. The leaders here truly protected me, refusing to allow John to harass us. Mom, is that Dad? Jason had also seen the argument below. Yes, but you don't have to worry, Daddy won't be coming up. Sure enough, after more persuasion from Officer Zhao, John finally left. From that day on, he never came again. Maybe he had finally understood, some things truly could never be undone. A month later, we moved into our new home. Sister Chen's family helped with the move, and other colleagues from the compound came to congratulate us. Comrade Shen, congratulations on your new home, Chief Liu said, handing me a potted plant. Thank you, Chief. You're a bit of a celebrity in the compound now. Raising 3 kids on your own while performing so well at work, many people admire you. I'm just doing what I should do. No, you're doing better than most. In the new apartment, each of the children finally had their own room. Jason's was covered in his awards and drawings, Tyler's was filled with toys, and Lily's was decorated like a little princess's castle. Watching the 3 of them busily arranging their things made me feel deeply content. This was the life I had wanted, simple, peaceful, and full of love. That evening, we ate our first meal together in the new home. Mom, will we live here forever? Lily asked. If you like it here, then yes, we'll live here forever. I like it, the 3 children said together. All right, then we'll build our new home here. I raised my teacup. Let's toast to our new life. The children raised their small cups, their faces glowing with joy. To our new life. In that moment, I felt like the happiest person in the world. I no longer had a husband, but I had 3 wonderful children. I had been hurt before, but I had started anew. Most importantly, I had proven through my own efforts that a woman can stand on her own and create a beautiful future for her children. 3 months after moving into the new apartment, I received an unexpected phone call. Comrade Shen, this is Director Zhang from the County Women's Federation. There's something I'd like to discuss with you. Yes, Director Zhang, please go ahead. It's like this. The county is planning to hold a conference on the exemplary deeds of outstanding women, and we'd like to invite you to give a speech. I was taken aback. I don't know what I could possibly talk about. I said, your story is very educational. Director Zhang replied, a rural woman who educated herself, bravely pursued independence, and built a life of her own. This will inspire many women. I thought about it for a moment and realized she was right. Maybe my experience could help other women who were going through difficult times. All right, I'm willing to go. That's wonderful. The conference will be held next Saturday at the County Cultural Center. After hanging up, I felt a swirl of emotions. I never imagined so many people would be interested in my story. Mom, who was on the phone? Jason asked curiously. A lady from the county invited me to tell our story. Our story? Yes, about how Mom started a new life with you 3. Jason thought for a moment, then said seriously, Mom, you have to go. Let more people know that women can be amazing too. Hearing my son say that warmed my heart. It seemed the children had noticed all the changes these past months. The following Saturday, I put on my best clothes and went to the county cultural center. The hall was full of people, most of them women, with some young girls among them. When I stepped onto the stage, a warm round of applause filled the room. I took a deep breath and began to tell my story, from being a little girl begging on the streets, to enduring in silence after marriage, and finally to awakening and fighting back. I spoke in detail and with sincerity, hiding nothing. I looked out at the audience and said, "Women are not men's appendages. We have our own value, our own abilities. As long as we dare to fight for it, we can find the happiness that belongs to us." The hall erupted in applause again. After the conference, many women came over to talk to me. "Comrade Shen, you're incredible. I want to be as brave as you." "Comrade Shen, my husband also has another woman outside, but I don't dare divorce him. I'm afraid the children will suffer." "Comrade Shen, can you teach me how to study? I want to improve myself too." I answered each question earnestly. I told them that courage doesn't mean you're not afraid. It means you keep doing the right thing even when you are afraid. I told them that divorce is not the scary part. What's truly frightening is living your whole life swallowing your pain. I told them it's never too late to learn. If you have the determination, it's never too late to start. When I returned to the compound, I noticed my colleagues treated me with even more respect. "Comrade Shen, you're practically a celebrity in the county now," Chief Liu said with a smile. "Chief, don't tease me." "I'm not teasing. I genuinely admire you. Honestly, I've never met a woman like you before." Just then, Officer Zhao walked into the finance office. "Comrade Shen, I have good news for you." "What good news?" "The compound has decided to promote you to Deputy Section Chief of Finance." I widened my eyes in surprise. "Deputy Section Chief? Me?" "Yes, your work ability and character are obvious to everyone. After careful consideration, the leadership decided to promote you." The news was so sudden. From an ordinary rural woman to the Deputy Section Chief of the Finance Department in the military compound, such a transformation was almost unbelievable even to me. "Thank you for the trust. I will never let everyone down," I said sincerely. "Also," Zhao continued, "the compound has decided to recommend you for the district's Outstanding Worker Award." That day was full of surprises. That evening, when I got home, I shared the news with the children. "Mom, what's a deputy section chief?" Tyler asked. "It means Mom is now a small leader." "That's great. Mom, you're amazing," Lily said, clapping her little hands. Seeing the proud looks on my 3 children's faces filled me with endless motivation. I had to keep working hard, not just for myself, but to be a good role model for them. That night, I sat on the balcony, reflecting on all the changes in the past year. From despair to hope, from dependence to independence, from feeling small to standing confident, every change came from an awakening deep inside me. I finally understood that a woman's worth isn't in who she depends on, but in becoming a better version of herself. I also understood that true happiness isn't something you wait for, it's something you fight for. Now, I had a stable job, wonderful children, and a bright future. I didn't have a husband, but my life was full and happy, and that was enough. Another half-year passed, and my life had completely stabilized. As Deputy Section Chief of Finance, I managed most of the compound's financial affairs, and my colleagues trusted me deeply. The children were thriving at school. Jason had become class monitor, and Tyler and Lily were the teachers' favorites. One day, while I was organizing accounts in my office, Officer Zhao hurried in. "Comrade Shen, I have something to tell you." "What is it?" "John Walker is back." The pen in my hand stopped. "Why is he back?" "I heard he's applying to be transferred back to the compound." "Transferred back?" I gave a cold laugh. "Does he think this is a place he can come and go from as he pleases?" "Of course, the leadership won't agree so easily," Zhao said. "But he's asked quite a few people to speak for him." "Who?" I put down my work. "Mostly some of his old comrades, and also Mary Lewis's father." Hearing Mary's name stirred a wave of disgust in me. "They're still together? Apparently, they're already married." I nodded, oddly relieved. If John already had a new family, maybe he wouldn't bother us anymore. "Zhao, if he really gets transferred back, will it affect me and the kids?" "Don't worry. Even if he comes back, he won't be assigned to his old post, and the leadership will strictly forbid him from disturbing you." "That's good," I said, though in truth, I still felt uneasy. I knew John too well. He never gave up until he got what he wanted. Sure enough, a few nights later, John appeared downstairs. This time, he didn't come up. Instead, he stood below, shouting loudly, "Emma, I know you're home. Let's talk." I stood by the window, looking down at him, my feelings a tangled mess. "Mom, is that Dad?" Jason had also heard his voice. "Yes, but you don't need to pay attention to him." "Emma, I know I wronged you before," John kept calling, "but we're still the children's parents. We can't just cut each other off forever." Soon, neighbors began murmuring. "Why is John Walker here again? They've been divorced for so long, he still can't let go? Emma Shen is living just fine on her own. Why should he come bother her?" Hearing their words warmed my heart. These kind people were protecting us. "Mom, I'll go tell Dad not to be so loud," Jason said. "No need. Someone will take care of it." Sure enough, before long, the compound's patrol team arrived. "John Walker, what are you doing here?" The patrol leader demanded. "I want to see my kids." "You can see them, but you need to follow proper procedures and apply in advance. You can't just cause a scene like this." I did apply, but I didn't agree. And I had my reasons. "Comrade Shen has every right not to agree," the patrol leader told him. "You should reflect on your own behavior." In the end, John Walker was persuaded to leave, but I knew this matter wouldn't simply end here. The next day at work, Section Chief Liu gave me some news. "Comrade Shen, I heard John Walker wants to go through legal channels to fight for custody of the children." "What?" I stood up in shock. "On what grounds?" "He says it's too hard for you, as a woman, to raise 3 kids alone, and that with him, they'd have better living conditions." "Nonsense," I said angrily. "We're doing just fine. Why should they go with him?" "Don't worry," Liu said reassuringly. "The law is fair. With John Walker's character and financial situation, the court won't award him custody." Although his words were meant to comfort me, I still felt uneasy. What if the court really believed the children would have a better life with him? What would I do then? That night, I told the children about it. "Mom, we don't want to go with Dad. We want to stay with you," Jason said firmly. "That's right, Mom. We don't want to leave you," Tyler and Lily chimed in together. Seeing how tense they were, my heart ached. I hugged them tightly. "Don't be afraid, my loves. No matter what happens, I'll protect you." In the days that followed, I began actively preparing for John Walker's lawsuit. I gathered every piece of evidence that could prove I was fully capable of raising my children: my employment certificate, income proof, the children's report cards, their teachers' evaluations, and statements from neighbors. I even hired the best lawyer in the county to defend our rights in court. A month later, the trial began. I wore my most formal clothes and walked into the courtroom with all my evidence. John was there too, accompanied by his new wife, Mary Lewis. Strangely, seeing them made me feel calm. Today, I would let the facts speak, proving who was truly fit to raise these 3 children. After the judge declared the trial open, both sides began presenting evidence. John's lawyer spoke first. "My client is the children's biological father. He has both the right and the duty to raise them. He now has a stable job and a complete family, and can provide them with better living conditions." Then it was my lawyer's turn to respond. "Miss Shen has been raising 3 children alone and has done so exceptionally well. Under her care, the children excel academically and are healthy in both body and mind. Mr. Walker, however, was once disciplined by the Organization for Improper Conduct, showing a flaw in his character. He is unfit to raise these children." Next came the witnesses. Leaders from the compound, school teachers, and neighbors all testified on my behalf. They unanimously stated that I was a competent mother and that the children were thriving with me. The most important moment came when the judge asked the children for their own wishes. "Children, who do you want to live with?" Without hesitation, all 3 answered, "With Mom." "Why?" the judge asked. "Because Mom loves us the most and takes the best care of us," Jason said seriously. "Mom is with us every day. Dad never spends time with us," Tyler added. "I just want Mommy," Lily said in her soft, childish voice. Hearing their words, the courtroom fell silent. Even John lowered his head, unable to meet their eyes. In the end, the judge announced the verdict. All 3 children's custody would be awarded to me, Emma Shen. When I heard the decision, tears of relief and joy streamed down my face. "Mom, we won," the children shouted, throwing themselves into my arms. As we walked out of the courtroom, I saw John standing at the door. His eyes were full of tears and he looked genuinely regretful. He walked toward me, his voice choked. "Emma, I'm sorry, I failed you all. I wasn't a good husband or a good father." Looking at the man who had once been my husband, I realized I no longer felt any hatred. "John, let the past stay in the past. I hope from now on you can be a good person and treat your current family well." "I will," he nodded. "Emma, thank you for raising the children so well. This is what I should do. From now on, can I still see them?" he asked. I thought for a moment before replying, "Yes, but you must request in advance according to the rules and you can't disrupt their daily lives." "All right, thank you." From that day on, John Walker never again disrupted our lives. Occasionally, he would visit the children as agreed, but each time was brief and respectful. Our lives finally settled into complete peace. In our big military community, the children and I lived happily. Everyone worked hard in their own paths. I continued my work in the finance department and was even named an outstanding worker in the district. Jason was admitted to the best middle school in the military region, consistently ranking among the top students. Tyler and Lily also performed excellently in their own schools, becoming well-liked by both teachers and classmates. Looking back at the past few years, I deeply understood how important it is for a woman to be independent and strong. Only by relying on yourself can you truly take control of your own destiny. Only by bravely pursuing the life you want can you find real happiness. Now, even as a single mother, I live a full and joyful life. Through my own hard work, I proved that a woman can hold up her own sky. And through my actions, I showed my children that no matter what difficulties they face, they must face them bravely and never give up the pursuit of a better life. This is my story, the journey of a 1970s military